What's up? Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Hope you guys are doing well. Happy Saturday, happy weekend to everyone. Thanks for tuning in again to another Micslmn stream. Today we are going to make our way over to Punta Cana. That's right, we are finally going to go check out the Caribbean. Been saying we're going to be doing for a while, but we just haven't gotten around to it, to be honest. There were so much other places in the US that I wanted to check out and explore just to make sure it was correct. And the Caribbean was kind of left last on the list a little bit there, so we're going to head there now. Today we're on the ground here at Orlando International, one of the lovely handcrafted sceneries from Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 and a Zibo. CK17, what's going on, man? And then we're gonna head down to Punta Cana. Unfortunately, Punta Cana is not a handcrafted or add-on airport, so it'll look very defaultish once we get to the terminals and whatnot. But the arrivals and the views are pretty spectacular. It's spot on for what you can expect. For those of you that have been to the Dominican Republic and specifically Punta Cana before, Stalker, what's going on, man? What's going on, Johnny? But yeah, we're gonna get in here. Gosh, patch 2. So much to talk about with patch 2. We've got 2 hours and 17 minutes of flight time. We'll get into all of that. Man, they fixed some stuff and broke a lot more. That's the best way to summarize patch 2, unfortunately, including my beloved A320, but we're going to figure things out today. We're going to get into the cockpit and get stuff figured out. We are running the fly-by-wire mod. Supposedly, they have corrected the issues that folks are seeing with Engine 1 rolling back. So I don't know if we want to take that chance or continue to use the workaround, and that workaround is to leave the APU running. That defies all logic, and for those of you that are avid flight simmers and have a lot of time in the A320, that's kind of strange that you would leave the AP on for the entire flight. Not only is it strange, but it also adds to your fuel burn. But this is a default aircraft. I don't even know if they model the extra fuel burn that would be caused by the the APU being left on. So I don't know, guys, but we'll figure it out. I think we're gonna leave it off just to try it. I think the problem is once it shuts off, you can't get it started again. So that's unfortunate. So if that's the case, we're gonna have to find somewhere to land. But as you can see, there are a lot more modeled switches and whatnot here in the fly-by-wire update. So not only did they, make an attempt to correct the issues that Zibo caused in the patch too, but they've also added a bunch of things. As you can see, I just turned on a couple of the lights there that are generally in op. So the commercial and galley controls in the back there for the flight crew, and make your coffee pots and all that. We've also got the cockpit door modeled now. That's pretty cool. It goes from lock to normal to unlock. That's cool. The transponder is modeled as well. I can go to standby, auto, and on, TA and TARA. ECAM logic is a lot more realistic. Still a few items missing, but it has a lot more information now. You'll see once we get going here. The pressurization as well is modeled once you as well as when you release and apply the parking brakes. You see the acupressure moving there. What else? Most of the work though was done within the ECAM logic. You got a lot more messages now. They've modeled the flight crew interaction, so cabin ready. Once you hit that before takeoff, it'll tell the cabin crew to be seated. Once you hit it again for your arrival and landing, it'll tell them to be seated for landing. So, you know, a lot of this stuff is not gimmicky. I don't want to say gimmicky, but it adds a lot more interaction between you and the aircraft, and it really makes you feel like you're flying an airliner. Yeah, I know a lot of people would like for them to tackle some of the more important things in the aircraft, but they are limited by the lack of SDK and, quite frankly, knowledge that Asobo and Microsoft are willing to share with the crew. So they have done a fantastic job given the limited data and documentation that they have to work with. And to top it all off, it is free, guys, so really can't complain. All right, so we get the IRSs aligning. Let's start the flight with PAC-X, MCO to Punta Cana. That's correct. That's correct. That's correct. All right, that should start the flight now. Here, the cabin getting ready for departure. All right, let's hop to the McDo. I did put the flight plan in via the flight sim menu. Did not feel like messing around with the McDo today. There's a lot of waypoints between here and Punta Cana, and it would have taken us forever to put all that in. So hopefully it ported it over correctly. We do have a bit of information to fill out still though, however. So Frontier Flight 106 today, 35 on the cost index, 370 is correct. You'll see now that the zero fuel ACG is automatically in there as well. That's new. What we do need to do though is put fuel into the aircraft. We'll go to pounds. Today we're taking 18.7. The fuel burn is a little bit more accurate as well. I don't trust it fully though, 100%, so I'm gonna just give it a little bit more. We'll go with 20.6. So that's correct. We'll change this to 9.3. All right, let's take a look at the flight plan. So we are on VATSIM, no ATC on at the moment. Nope, we got Miami Center and Nassau Center, so we'll be talking to both of them eventually, but no one for departures out of Orlando. Orlando is in a North Ops today, according to real world flight plan and real world weather down at the airport. So we're going to take 36 left, 36 right in the real world is closed currently. And ATC here on VATSIM does model that, so the last thing I want is to select 36 right. They jump on and then we have to redo our runway. So I'm going to take 36 left, and the Orla 4 should be good enough to take us out of here. Essentially, for those of you that are not familiar with the Orlando VORTAC and the SIDS and the stars, the SIDS out of Orlando are mostly vector departures, so it really doesn't matter which one you use. It's up to ATC and the time of day and all that stuff is what it comes down to. So we'll go with the Orla 4. We'll fly runway heading and then vector ourselves to our initial waypoint. Let me get a little closer here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Into Punta Cana, we're going to be arriving via the ILS runway 08 approach. No star, no transition. Let me see if Agnol is actually via. I'll pull up my charts here. Give me a second. Okay, so per the charts at Punta Cana, there is no ILS approach into the airport. So either the McDo has it wrong or Navigraph has it incorrectly. I mean, the glide slope runway 08 is not the same thing technically as an ILS, so it's good weather there anyway. I don't think we'll need the ILS, but that's strange how the McDo has one thing and Navigraph has another. Again, this is Navigraph beta for Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, although it shouldn't affect the charts that we're seeing here, so I don't know what's going on with that. I'm going to lean on the fact that this is a default aircraft and the McDo is still a little screwy. So folks, technically there is no ILS approach into runway 8 there at Punta Cana. Yep, we'll go with that. That's fine. Not a big deal. I'm just gonna insert it anyway. I'm curious, do they have the... they've got the RNAVs in there, so it looks like the McDo interprets the ILS and the GLIDE and the GS approach the same. I mean, theoretically, it's the same kind of approach, but there are some subtle differences between the ILS and the GLS approach. Alright, I think the McDo looks good. I'll step through that in a second. Let me get probe window heat and get the APU started. Smoking signs to auto. We didn't connect the jetway. We need to do that because that's how PAC-X will know when we're ready to go once we disconnect the jetway. So let's connect it. We'll pretend it was always there, no worries. Beautiful day here at Orlando. That's a GBAS approach. Can you explain a little more, Johnny? This is why we've got Johnny on our streams, guys. Knows the ins and outs. What's the difference between that and the ILS? I do need to update the time of day here. I'm going to push this back to my time here on the West Coast. It'd be a shame to get into Punta Cana at night. I want to see the island in its entirety. So let's make that 10 o'clock here on the West Coast, so we'll make it 10 o'clock here on the sim. It's an alternate to the ILS. Yeah, I figured that much. I just don't know what the differences are. It's still a precision approach, right. There's got to be a difference for them to have to call it something, you know, different than the ILS. That's what I'm thinking, at least.
Somebody will assist you. If the overhead bin is full after you put your carry-on inside of it, please close the bin as a courtesy to other passengers. Once all your items are put away, please clear the aisle and sit down in your seat to allow other passengers to find their seats as well. If you are seated in an emergency exit row, please read the exit seating responsibilities in the safety card in the seat back in front of you. Please make sure you are willing and able to perform the actions required. If you are not able or prefer not to perform these actions, please let a flight attendant know.
We'll go 5,000 on the initial climb.
Portable electronic devices during the boarding process. We ask that larger electronic devices are stowed once we depart from the gate. Thank you and welcome aboard.
Plan mode. Let's step through this. We'll fly out of 36 left, runway heading. We'll make right downwind to our first waypoint. Again, this is all contingent on the fact that we have no ATC. If they come on, that'll be a different story. We'll continue southeast and into Punta Cana. Again, no star for us. Essentially straight in here. Runway 8. All right, I like it. That looks good. John, what's up, man? ILS have its own individual frequency. GBAS will use VHF. Can go places where it can't be, where ILS can't be used. Gotcha. Which would make sense why it's there at Punta Cana, considering, you know, the infrastructure and the environment and whatnot, the surroundings of the airport. You guys will see if you've never been there once we get there, but that makes sense. 10 with that, but still uses base stations, unlike RNAV, right? Which is why it's still a precision approach. Yep. Flap is open. APU is available. APU bleed can come on. Seatbelt signs come on. Doing good, man. Hope you're doing well, brother. Hope you're doing well. All right, while the cabin and whatnot is continuing to get situated. Yeah, Johnny's killing it with those Spirit landings. And then he had the nerve to say, I'll take it. Nah, dude. With this default aircraft, that was a spectacular landing. Even for a regular A320. He's too modest. All right, Frontier Flight 106, guys. We're going to Punta Cana, MDSD. I remember that name of that airport a while back. I just can't remember what it is called today. I know it's the other airport there in major airport there in Dominican Republic. I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, it's not important. All we need to know, that's our alternate if we need to go there. 370 is our initial cruise. We've got fuel, passengers, all that on board. We're going to fly out of Orlando. I just went over the departure. We're going to fly runway heading, make right downwind, vector ourselves to our initial waypoint. That's all of our waypoints. Winds aloft, patch 2. We'll talk about patch 2 a little bit more in detail, but winds aloft now works. So that's good to know. We'll see how accurate it is on our flight. We'll compare it to what SimBrief is giving us. But so that's good. Weather-wise, we've got some segments over Jacksonville, Miami. Nothing to worry about down in Punta Cana. The rest of this is really not important for simulation purposes. But yeah, pretty clear flight, pretty smooth flight going down to Punta Cana today. No concerns. I mean, a little bit of a build up down here, but I don't think anything to be alarmed about. Again, we are going to taxi out of 36 left. I'm sorry, taxi out to 36 left, leaving airside 3. We'll cross 36 right, 36 right, 18 left. Currently at Orlando, and the real world is closed. We'll be using 36 left. We're on VATSIM. We'll be on Unicom. We'll make sure we announce our intentions, especially before crossing the 36 right runway, because not everyone simulates that, unfortunately. So that's good. If you guys are good, I'm good, and we can get ready to get on out of here. Get the fuel pumps on. We'll squawk 2200. Get the transponder on. We'll go to TA for now. Why are they still boarding? They are taking a long time. Nevertheless, we're going to disconnect the jetway. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Those of you just tuning in, welcome here to the stream. We're going to head down to Punta Cana today in the A320 Neo. Appreciate you all tuning in today. Should be a good flight if the aircraft behaves. Patch 2 unfortunately has wreaked havoc on many things in this sim, including the A320 and even some of the GA aircraft. So hopefully everything goes well today. We shall see.
We are ready to go when you are.
Thank you. About time.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard Flight 106. Our flight time will be roughly 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Speaking on.
Now that the cabin door is closed, please make sure that all devices are in airplane mode and your large devices are now shut down and stowed. Please fasten your seatbelt and make sure that all tray tables and seat backs are in a full upright and locked position for departure. Cabin crew, secure doors for departure.
Cabin crew, prepare doors for departure. All right, ready to go. Our beacon's on. We got the tug connecting. I hate this camera system. Where is Xplane, guys? Where's Xplane? Alright, looks like we're connected. Oh, we'll lock the cockpit door since that's now simulated here. That's pretty cool. We'll go engine 1. Have them stairs to the right. Oh, announcements. Yeah, it's Pack X, John.
Gentlemen, we'd like your attention to some important safety features of this Airbus A320 aircraft. Please follow along with the safety information card located.
It kind of works like labs, but a little better actually, because it takes into account where you're going and all. You know what? This thing will push us right into the lake. Oh no, I think it's gonna turn us okay. Is it? Oh yeah, it is. Look at that. It takes into account where you're going and all that stuff, so that's pretty cool. It announces the temperature and all that at the airport when you arrive, and a bunch of other stuff. I think it's cool. And you can utilize custom announcements, so essentially I'm utilizing the announcements that I've had for the labs and some of the ones I've created as well. It's just a WAV file. Alright, engine 2 coming on. The sounds are too loud though. Let me turn that down. Yeah, the camera is aggravating. Yep. So like I said, there have been some additional enhancements to the ECAM logic and whatnot. So you got the hydraulic PTU there. Message until we start engine 2. There it goes. It's gone. Predictive wind shear you can now use. What else? You've got the flight director indicators are now modeled. Doesn't wait till you actually take off for it to come up. I think they have enhanced some of the pages here. Bleed system is now modeled. Still don't have hydraulics or any of that yet. Fuel, I think, has been there. APU has been there. That's not modeled. Door's been there. We've got wheel. That's there. Flight controls. Before the rudder check wasn't working. I think that works now. Actually, let's do this. So, 1 up 0.2. Flex to 20. That's fine. So a lot of this information is filled in as well. Is it accurate? Don't know. But you can change it and all that stuff. But I think it takes into account the ambient temperature and the runway you selected. I don't know, but it's modeled now to some degree. Pitch trim will go up 0.2. What else? We'll do a flight control check. That's full up. Center. Full down. Center. Full left. Center. Full right. Center. Rudder. It's full left. Center. Full right. Center. All right. What else? What else? Flaps. That would be nice, right? Config 1 plus F. We'll go ignition mode selector to normal. We'll go weather radar on. Weather plus turbulence. Predictive wind shear auto. I need to turn on my SciTech radio panel. Give me a second, guys. Hate being heads down. Oh man, it's not working today. Let me restart it. That is strange. Well, somebody broke this in the patch too.
The cabin is ready.
Thank you, Captain Secure. There we go. All right. 122.8. Let me just check one more time. Make sure ATC is not on. No, they are not. Guys, I was able to get the overlay working. Our flight tracker up there at the top. If it looks off or stops working mid-flight, please let me know. It has been a little weird, but for the most part, I think we've got it working. 29902. Is that correct at Orlando right now? I don't think so. Let me check something really quick. Orlando 29904. All right, it ain't terribly off, but off just a bit. All right, no worries. What did we forget? We forgot something. Yes, auto brake is armed. Auto brake I'm sorry. Spoilers are armed. Auto brake max. Terrain on ND. All right, let's get out of here, guys. Parking brake release. The pressure used to go to 29992 if you change the times. Gotcha. I mean, it's not too far off. It's 29904 technically is what the real world is reporting right now. Orlando International Traffic, Frontier Flight Airbus A320. We are leaving Airside 3, taxi to runway 36 left via Charlie Bravo. Bravo 9 will cross 36 right, Orlando International Traffic. Has that been fixed? I don't know. I haven't noticed that, John. I've never noticed that before. To me, the weather is just always off. I've never found it, except for that one flight I did in Europe. Taxi light on. You can get APU bleed off. Guys, I'm afraid to turn off the APU. I don't know. I know the fly-by-wire guys said they fixed it, but I don't know. Takeoff config is modeled as well. Normal. And once we get closer to the runway, I'll show you guys how the cabin check works. Pretty cool that they modeled that as well. Alright, we'll continue taxi here down Bravo. This is a really well done airport. In my opinion, this is one of the better handcraft airports they've done in the sim. It's really solid. Wonder if it's using prognosis reports for weather depiction and interpolation of actual conditions. I would imagine being actual, however, it doesn't seem like that sometimes. I have no idea, man. All I know is they made this big to-do and this big fuss about how great the weather system is going to be and their partnership with Mezho Blue, and it has just been an absolute disaster since launch. Alright, we're crossing inactive even though it's closed in the real world, but let's get the strobes on. Orlando International Traffic, Airbus A320 crossing runway 36 right. So, I don't know, Johnny, actually. Don't know. Alright, we're approaching our runway here. We get the cabin check. So what you do is go over to your overhead panel and hit all. And you get the pilot announcement. So that's pretty cool. They modeled that as well. Again, a lot of this stuff you would generally pay for in an add-on aircraft. It's really cool that the community has really taken it upon themselves to just add a little bit more immersion to this aircraft, and not only immersion but tackle the way it flies as well. TARA on the transponder. We are approaching our active. We're clear on final. We're clear down the runway. Get the landing lights on, runway turnoffs on. Orlando International Traffic, Frontier Flight Airbus A320. We are departing runway 36 left, runway heading right downwind departure, Orlando traffic. Alright, let's get lined up here. Chronos, start the clock. That's there. One quick check. Looks good. That's the takeoff. Alright, we're out of here. Oh, they actually modeled the position of the flight controls as well. That's pretty cool. So, we'll apply a little forward nose pressure there. Stable. Alright, that should say man flex. Not sure why it says MCT, but man flex. SRS or runway. Auto thrust is blue. That's 80 knots. And we'll rotate. Positive rate, gears coming up. Goodbye, Orlando. Runway heading. Climb thrusts. Gorgeous departure. I never get tired of flying out of Orlando, both in the sim and in real world. I never get tired of it. That's so awesome. Alright, we'll start making our right hand turn now. I decided to leave the APU on, guys. I'm not taking any chances. We'll just leave it on for the flight. I'm not concerned about fuel burn. We've got plenty of fuel, and again, like I said, I don't even know if this aircraft models the extra fuel burn that would come with leaving the APU on. So I ain't paying for the fuel anyway. We'll leave it on. Up to 11,000 now. Flaps could come up. The aircraft cleaned up. Yeah, it's gorgeous, Johnny. Gorgeous, man. Land international traffic, FrontierFly Airbus A320. We are crosswind now on a heading of 085, continuing our departure. Headed southbound. Last call for FrontierFly A320, Orlando international traffic. Jeez, that looks good. H, what's going on, brother? Everyone say hello to my my little brother there, Myth to Reality. Not so little anymore. He's getting ready to graduate high school. Check out his YouTube channel as well. He's got some good content there. Alright, after takeoff checklist, gears up, no lights, flaps retracted, spoilers disarm, all lights as required. After takeoff checklist is complete. What's our first waypoint here, guys? Travis. We'll direct Travis. Still hand flying her. No problem, brother, no problem. 7.5, so the ETA on the ribbon up there, folks, will should pop up once we get through 10,000, give you an idea how long this flight is. But it looks like it's working okay for now. A really nice day for flying out here. Just subbed. Cool, Johnny. Cool. All right, 8.8 now for 10,000, for 11,000. Well, actually, let's bring this up to our cruise. I think we're going to 370 today.
Gentlemen, we are now passing through 10,000 feet. You can now turn on your larger portable electronic devices. As a reminder, please keep your seatbelt fastened while you are seated and do not congregate in the galleys or near the lavatories. This aircraft is equipped with onboard Wi-Fi. If you wish to connect to the Wi-Fi, you'll be directed to a page to pay a small fee for internet access. We do offer complimentary in-flight TV thanks to our partners. Connect to the Wi-Fi and you'll be able to access our wide range of free live TV and paid movies library.
Can't see the ETA on the overlay. Alright, Johnny, let me... Oh, this thing trying to kill me. That's my fault, actually. I didn't realize I didn't put the autopilot on yet. Alright, autopilot coming on. It should pop up shortly, Johnny. Let me take a look. That's strange. That is strange. Yeah, this is the only one of the two things that still bugs me out. And again, I don't think it's something the fly-by-wire guys can fix. It's up to Zibo and Microsoft. After 10,000 feet, the plane just rockets. I mean, 3.6 is not a terrible rate of climb, but it generally wouldn't climb that aggressively. Not through 14,000. And the problem is, the reason why it's doing that is because it's trying to maintain the speed there that's set in the McDo. So they haven't quite worked out the logic regarding the relationship between the speed there and the VNAV profile, and that's why I climb so aggressively. If I'm not mistaken, Aerosoft used to have that problem as well. I remember in the early days it used to just skyrocket because it was always trying to maintain that speed. All right, ATC's calling me. Who's on? Let's see. Oh, Miami. Did forget to contact them. Let's see. Miami, good morning. Frontier Flight 106. We are 17.7 for 370 direct traffic.
Frontier 106 Miami Center, squawk mode Charlie, and then squawk 4770.
4770, and we should be more Charlie now. Frontier Flight 106. All right, so we're on with Miami now.
Miami Center, Allegiant 997.
Allegiant 997 Miami Center, fly heading 270, vectors for ILS runway 18 approach, descend and maintain 2000.
180 down to 2000, vectors for 18 approach for Allegiant 997. Sorry about the no responsive earlier.
All right, no problem.
Miami Center, Hotel Papa 1973 with you.
Hotel Papa 1973 Miami Center, climb to maintain.
Yeah, Johnny, ATC got me, man. They always get me, don't they?
Maintain 350 Hotel Papa 1973.
National 475 Miami Center, where are you located?
All right, guys, we are looking good here. Let me see if I can figure out what's going on with the oh, what was that?
National 475 Miami Center, squawk 4673.
Chrome just crashed on me. What was that about? Let me see if I can figure out why the overlay is not picking up the ETA.
National 475 radar contact 41 miles south.
Maybe
of
it does
Versus
it once you get to cruise?
Cross Juneau and maintain 2000 and 280 knots. Find the altimeter.
No, that's not. It can't be that. Because it doesn't even know your cruising altitude, so that can't be it.
Legion 997, the southwest, the St. Petersburg altimeter 29906.
2996, Allegiant 997.
Let me restart it. Let me restart the overlay. Maybe when in cruise, no, because you don't put in the cruise information, John, at all.
Sunwing 193, depart Charlie Yankee Yankee, Cypress VOR, depart Cypress heading 320, vectors for the ILS runway 6 approach.
Ron's mic is always so loud, man.
VOR via heading 320, and then I'll take ILS approach.
It has the wrong altitude? That's weird. It's weird. Yours did that as well. Okay, so it must be a SIM Connect issue with Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. That's got to be the problem. I'm just gonna kill it for now.
997, 4 miles from Whipso. Turn left heading 220. Maintain 2000 until established on the localizer. ILS runway 18 approach.
Left heading 220 cleared, or 220, maintain 2000 until established ILS 18 approach for Allegiant 997.
Let me see if I can redo it.
Sunwing 193, descend and maintain 2000.
Descend and maintain 2000, Sunwing 193.
Alright, that should have fixed it, but now it's not coming up.
National 475, roger, thanks, stop descent. Legion 997, wind 040 at 4, runway 18 clear to land.
Runway 18 clear to land for Allegiant 997.
Kidding me right now?
Where's the descent now? National 475.
National 475, roger. Hotel Papa 1973, contact Nassau Center 125.7.
I don't know what happened, guys.
Contacting Nassau Center 125.7, Hotel Papa 1973.
Why is this set to on? Should be auto. It looks like it fixed it, but now it won't pop up on the stream, so we'll figure it out. Like I said, we've got
Good afternoon, Miami Center, American
a
407.
good amount of flight time ahead of us, so we'll get it sorted.
407, heavy, Miami Center, climb and maintain, flight level 390.
All right, we're doing good. Nice rate of climb. Aircraft holding its own. Let's see, winds are 251 at 5. If we compare that to what Real World has right now, what's our waypoint? 4 now? Coming up on 4 now. 4 now should be 130 at 11. Well, it's close. I mean, we're not quite there yet.
Miami Center, Blade 101.
It's far better than
Out of Gooch Hill, en route to Key West.
what it had
RNAV
previously, that's for
197.
sure.
Blade 101, Miami Center, roger. You can expect RNAV runway 27.
Miami Center, can you repeat?
What do you guys think about the
Blade 101, okay, you can expect RNAV runway 27.
what do you guys think about the latest patch?
RNAV runway 27, Blade 101.
At Miami Center, good afternoon. November 629 Fox Tango is MIDI 4500 on course, Fort Myers.
November 629 Fox Tango, Miami Center, roger. Welcome. Sunwings 193, turn right heading 060.
Right heading 060.
So based on from my understanding of the latest patch, and obviously
frequency traffic advisory.
attempted to address live weather and winds aloft. I think winds aloft for the most part have been addressed. Live weather is still a bit off.
Sunwings 193, continue your right turn to heading 090.
Well, that's going to require additional work, I'm sure.
Right turn up to 090, someone 193.
Sunwing 193, you're 16 miles from
They
Maple.
attempted to
Turn right heading 090, maintain 2000 until established on the localized.
They attempted to correct a lot of the avionics issues and autopilot issues in the airliners and some of the GA aircrafts. And I think in doing so, that's where they ran into trouble. Like I said, if you guys are reading some of the forums or the known issues, the A320 specifically, engine 1, shortly after startup, rolls back on you. And there's no way to restart the engine, unfortunately. It causes it to just completely crap out. So that was one of the issues. The latest community mod that we're running here seems to have addressed that, but some folks still have reported that they're still seeing that issue. So the workaround currently is to leave the APU on. There's some sort of logic Asobo broke between no fuel in the center tanks and that causing engine 1 to think that it needs to shut down because it doesn't have enough fuel. Supposedly though, the APU, leaving the APU on, addresses that. So that's why we've got it on here for this flight. Why does it sound like I'm rolling back here? Okay, it's leveling off 370. Get the signs off. I thought we were stalling. So yeah, unfortunately that's the issue for now, and the APU is the workaround. Yes, Johnny, that was the next thing. Huge performance improvements. I think though that's really for folks that are running 1080p. 4K still struggles. Again, I've got a 4K TV here that I'm running this on. I'm at cruise over the ocean on high to ultra settings, and I'm only getting 26 FPS. So, again, those of you new to Flight Sim, you don't need a whole lot of FPS. That's for first-person shooters and all that. Flight Sims are really good. The sweet spot is between 30 to 40 or 50 FPS. I think the whole talk about getting 60 FPS is a little bit overblown. You don't need 60 FPS for a flight simulator, especially a simulator that's drawing so many details as this one. But yeah, a lot of folks have reported a fair amount of performance increase. But again, I think that's limited to the folks that were struggling with 1080p monitors. But I'm running a 1080 Ti on 4K, and whoa, did you guys see that plane that flew under us? That was cool.
Hotel Papa 1973, Miami Center, roger.
Yeah, 4K and 1080 Ti, it's still the same performance for me. Sure why ATC didn't call that guy out.
To St. Petersburg, taxi back to parking via
It was
Alpha.
roughly, what, 1,000 feet below us, but generally they would,
Allegiant 997.
they would note him to me, and vice
Miami
versa.
Center, Southwest 2473.
He's probably busy up there.
Regarding your in-flight service, we'll be serving complimentary
Southwest
drinks and
2473,
snacks. Please look in
Miami
your
Center,
seat
radar
back for a
contact
list of
as reported.
complimentary and
Welcome
premium
aboard.
drinks. Premium
else?
drinks are available for a small charge. If you wish to make an additional purchase, we only accept credit cards.
What else? Obviously the swaying is still there, as you can see. Still not fixed. Quite annoying, actually. Again, I don't think that is something the community mod can correct. It's going to be something that is solely up to Microsoft and Asobo to fix. I don't think it's attributed to the weather. I think it's attributed to whatever logic the flight dynamics in this A320 is utilizing. Because when we had no winds aloft, when that was broken, it was doing the same thing. So it's definitely related to flight dynamics and the autopilot logic in this plane. Because the other airliners do not do that. The 787 doesn't do that for me. And the 747, I flew it once though, doesn't do that for me. It's only the A320. Guess that rules out my flight. Yeah, I know, it literally gives some folks headaches. I know, John, you mentioned that as well. Like, it literally gives you a headache to swing back and forth. So unfortunately it's not a high priority item on their list to address, so we got to deal with it for now or not fly it at all. They said they worked on the horizontal turbulence on aircraft. Yeah, unfortunately not the A320, my friend. I did know this though in the GAs and the biz jets. So I flew the CJ4, and Johnny actually introduced me to the, what was that, Johnny? The King Air 350. That was a fun plane to fly as well. I got to fly that some more. And the turbulence was spot on. So we were going, I think, from Southern California up to the Bay Area. It was a pretty turbulent flight, but it didn't cause any swaying like this. It was actually realized turbulence on the aircraft that you would see there in the real world. So again, I don't think it's attributed to just the generic turbulence factors and weather in the sim per se. I think it's something with this aircraft.
Sunwing 193, welcome to Fort Myers. Take your first available right, taxi to parking via Foxtrot.
There's definitely something with this
Right,
aircraft.
Parking by Foxtrot, Sunwing 193.
Back to my GA. Careful, man. The Cessna is broken too, supposedly. You gotta watch for the main display. It'll go dark on you if you're not careful. So again, they fixed some things and screwed up a lot of other things, and unfortunately we've got to wait for
IFR. It looks like Miami approach stepped away for a minute.
another 3 to 4 weeks for another patch.
Roger, stand by. Sunwings 193, go ahead.
Well, you know what? Listen, guys, it's a new simulator. It's gonna have its growing pains.
Sunwings 193, roger.
They have stated that this is a project that they plan on working on for 10 years at least.
Delta 1402 cleared to
I
Atlanta,
am
Hartsfield, Jackson, and
absolutely
Nashville
confident
Airport.
it will get better. At the end of the day, we've never had a simulator that has given us these kind of airplanes and these kind of graphics out of the box.
Squawk 4676.
I mean, it's just incredible.
Delta 1402 Heavy cleared to the Atlanta airport via the Headley departure as filed. Climb maintain 5000. Expect flight level 40010 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 124.85. Squawk 4676. Delta 1402.
Let me
1402, read back correct, push and start.
let me see if I can add back this overlay, guys. Give me a sec.
Delta 1402, push and start my discretion, expect 8 right for departure.
Nah, it's not working out. We'll have to look at it. Let me see something. Yeah, we'll have to check it out on another flight. Unfortunately, guys, sorry about that. As you can see, I have it up, so let me show you what's on my other monitor here. It's definitely there. The information's there. Even the time to go now.
Bravo Lima Delta 101, descend and maintain 10,000. Key West altimeter 2992.
Unfortunately, it is not pulling it up in the actual overlay itself, so I'll just continue to give you guys updates on where we are and whatnot. So as you can see, we've got about an hour and 40 to go here until we get to Punta Cana. What else? Johnny, I know you've been flying it. Have you flown any of the GA aircrafts since the patch?
Center American 2358, level 16,000.
I think you flew
American 23.
the King Air as well, but you're not seeing any issues on your end, right?
Maintain flight level 340.
Up to 340, American 2358.
Delta 1402, Miami approach is now back. Contact him for taxi.
Delta 1402, will contact Miami approach for taxi. Thank you.
That's Freeport, Bahamas below us there.
All right, we'll see you later. American 1136, contact Nassau Center 125.7.
25-7, American 1136.
Hotel Papa 1973, departing my airspace to the south. My Havana Center not online. Radar service terminated. Frequency change approved.
Thank you for your service. Have a great afternoon, Hotel Papa 1973.
American 407, departing my airspace to the south. Havana not online. Radar service terminated. Frequency change approved.
407 Heavy 228. Good day.
We checked out the Bahamas last weekend. That was a pretty fun flight. I think we went to Exuma. In the TBM, that was pretty fun.
We're just 620 Mike, I believe it was. Miami Center copies you 5x5.
No, not yet. Gotcha, Johnny. Yeah, just watch for that. It happened to me twice on that King Air flight.
So we're looking for IFR
Then there's Showman in Plant City, Florida. Yeah, I gotta pick that one up as well. Yeah, guys, Vertical Simulations released, I think, their first scenery for MFS 2020. Those of you not familiar with Vertical Simulations, they are a... I don't even say, I can't even say they. I think it's a one-man show, if I'm not mistaken, Johnny. I'm not sure his name, but he's created a bunch of, you know, little one-off sceneries for Xplane in the past. Places that, you know, bigger developers tend to ignore, unfortunately, around the United States and whatnot. But he has promised to come over to MFS 2020 and start doing sceneries there, and his first one was released, I think, about a week ago. That's Plant City there in, I think in Palm, somewhere down there in southern Florida. Big Palm City.
In November 975, P12 at Lantana Airport to Western Leopard southbound at 5,000.
Zuma Juliet, we're on a, we're ready to talk to you.
All right, 620 Mike Juliet, runway 32, taxi via Alpha. The altimeter.
I'm not sure why we're still on with Miami. He should have handed us over to NASA, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, 32 via Alpha and 299 is Zuma 2.
And November 814 Tango Bravo, was that you that called? Delta 45, Miami Center. Somebody called for VFR flight following. What was your call?
One man show, gotcha.
November 935.
Guys, we had a, I just felt some shaking here. I don't know if that was an aftershock from yesterday, from last night, guys. Late last night here in Southern California, we had quite a shakeup from an earthquake. I think it was a 4.8. The epicenter was about 15 or so miles from me. I've been in Southern California 4 years now. That was the strongest earthquake that I've felt since being here the last 4 years. That was it was pretty intense yesterday. So all day folks here are on alert for aftershocks and whatnot.
All right, Learjet, the 620 Mike Juliet, runway 32, line up and wait.
Okay, 32 line up and wait.
Miami Frontier Flight 106, are we still with you or should we be with NASA?
Yeah, Frontier 106, contact NASA 125.70. I gave them off to you about 10 minutes ago.
Oh yeah, yeah, we never heard a call, so we'll go over to NASA. Thanks, 106. Yeah, he didn't hand me off, and they didn't call me, so I had a feeling we weren't in his airspace anymore. NASA, good afternoon. Frontier Flight 106, we're with you, 370.
Frontier Flight 106, NASA Center, roger.
All right, now we are where we're supposed to be. Yeah, Johnny, it was a 4-point hard pass. Yeah, it was a 4-point. I think between a 4.6 and 4.8. Everyone's saying different, but it was a hefty one. It was a hefty one. Appreciate you all tuning in this morning. Those of you just tuning in, we are unfortunately my overlay is not working, so I'll just give you an update. We are currently on our way to Nassau. I'm sorry, not Nassau, Bahamas. Punta Cana. We're over Nassau, Bahamas now. In the A320 Neobot in Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. Currently about an hour and 33 minutes out from our destination. Cruising at 370 at the moment, and we're on with Nassau Center. I don't see any ATC on there for Punta Cana or anywhere down there in the Dominican Republic, so we'll likely be on Unicom shortly for the remainder of the flight. Talking about patch 2 updates for Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 that was just released as well. Those of you that are flying the sim, I know they attempted to address a lot of the issues that we were seeing, but unfortunately they broke a couple of other things. So that is development for you. Folks are questioning some of the the QA testing that goes into some of these patches before they release them, but I don't know, man. This is a very complex piece of software when you think about flight simulators, so kind of a little slack, but they've got to get it together soon. This sim was way too overhyped for some of these things that we are experiencing a month after release to still be an issue. Every once in a while you gotta jump in the cockpit here, make sure things are okay. Again, at the end of the day, it's modded, but this still is a default aircraft at its core, so I want to monitor everything, make sure things are going okay. Fuel on board looks good. Our engines are looking good. Our temps are looking good. We're still on our flight plan there, it looks like. This is another piece of the aircraft that still needs a lot of work, quite frankly, is the McDo and the ND and the way the flight plan and paths are drawn on the ND, quite frankly. So technically you shouldn't have all these waypoints here. We've already passed them, so they shouldn't be in the McDo or the ND any longer. But they are there, unfortunately. Looks like actually they're not in the McDo, but the ND is still drawing them. So that needs to be worked out. We'll go into plan mode here and step through the rest of the... Get a better angle here. Step through the rest of the flight plan. That still looks good. Again, there's no VNAV logic, unfortunately, with this aircraft at the moment, so we've got to monitor where we are and really understand, you know, where our top of descent is going to be. So we'll look out for that as we get a little closer. Right now, though, plenty of time. Our distance to go and our estimated fuel on board does not work either. So looking forward to the folks getting that to go, or that together. We forgot to put in our alternate, I think MDSD. We talked about it, but I didn't actually put it in. So let's put that in there just in case we need to go there. That looks good. They're going to work on the model for the wind calculations as well. That should be cool. But yeah, other than that, we're looking good, guys.
I'm setting off center bound 229 like jet.
We are looking good. What's going on in the other sim worlds these days? I really haven't flown anything since anything besides MFS 2020 since it released last month. But I hear P3D, the FSLABS A319 is finally on its last legs there for release, so that's good. And then I think with that will come the Sharklets finally. It's been about a 2-year wait for that thing, but looks like That will be out shortly as well. We'll see. Xplane, I think some new aircrafts are being worked on or have released, so that's pretty cool. John says he's taking labs up tomorrow. Yeah, man, I miss labs. I'm not gonna lie, at its core, I miss labs. I just can't. I can't bring myself to fly in that simulator anymore. Just can't. Everything looks like just mush compared to MFS, man. We're coming up on Eleuthera, another chain of islands down here. If I'm not mistaken, this is where Johnny Depp and a couple of people have their homes. Down here in the Bahamas, but gorgeous looking water down there. I'm only going where pay where. Yep. Can you see your remaining distance? Not in the McDo, John. Nope. That's what I was just talking about. It's... No, sir. Fly Live Studio. Yes. I've got 6:43 to go, but the McDo still does not calculate it. So, got about an hour and 26 minutes. That's actually not 100% accurate because it doesn't take into account your descent and all that. So we've got roughly about an hour and 40 to go. Smooth sailing Xplane. I hear you, man. You already know my opinions about Xplane right now. Not even getting into that, man. How fast are you going? We are 447 across the ground. 0.78 indicated. Got an 18 knot cross / headwind. Let me actually take a look to see if that's accurate. What's that waypoint? Mammal? Yeah, that is right, guys. SimBrief has 093 at 19. This is 089 at 18. So, winds off does work. Does work, my friends. Finally. It's just the weather at the airports now they need to work on, because they are not accurate. The altimeters are at least anywhere from 2 to 6 decimals points off. And the winds themselves are not always accurate either. So once they get that fixed, we're in business. I'm keeping my GA flying in Memphis, but can't deal with those jets, and I dare not leave them unattended. I hear you, man. You really can't. I used to love being able to do long hauls and stuff and just go about my business doing other things. But you right now in its current state with these airliners, even the GA aircrafts, you can't leave any of these things unattended, unfortunately. Yeah, and John, it is right. The winds aloft is right. So again, if I show you guys here, the flight plan at that waypoint was 093 at 19. And if we take a look here on the ND, oops, 087 and 19. So it is correct. Yeah, since the patch, I haven't had an issue with winds aloft. Some people are saying they still see an issue, but I don't. I think this is about my 4th or 5th flight since the patch, and the winds aloft in all of the areas that I've flown have been accurate. So no issues there for me. We're gonna bump this speed up. I usually cruise at Mach 0.80. I'll do 7.9. Not a big difference, but just to keep things moving here. Look at that. That is gorgeous.
Charlie Foxtrot Delta Sierra Kilo, contact Miami Center 135.17 today.
Yeah, I don't know if it's location based, because when I was reading the forums, they said LAX. They were doing a flight from LAX to SFO.
American 1136, departing airspace to the southeast, Oceanic is offline, radar service is terminated, 50 clearance to cruise today.
And I've done 2 LAX flights since the patch, and winds aloft were fine for me, so I don't know.
Flight 106, you 2 as well, departing airspace southeast, Oceanic is offline, radar service is terminated, change to advisory, cruise today.
Over to Unicom Frontier Flight 106, we'll see you, take care.
Sure.
Alright, over to advisory. We are all alone now. Family time. John, take care, man. Good to hear from you. Hope all is well. Say hello to the family, man. For the rest of your evening, sir. Alright, so I'm looking at VATSIM. So we have a couple of aircrafts that are leaving the Dominican Republic right now, but in terms of arrivals, looks like we're the only one. So, should be just us coming in there right now. Again, we are roughly an hour and 20 out. 35% of the way there. Hope you guys been enjoying the flight. Looking forward to trying out some other aircrafts in this sim as well. So far I've flown obviously the A320, 787, 747. GA wise and BizJet wise, we've flown the Citation CJ4, Latitude, the Citation, I'm sorry, not Latitude, Longitude. That plane's terrible, and it's unfortunate because you have to pay for the premium pack to get it, and it flies worse than the CJ4 that was a part of the base pack. So I don't know what they were thinking when they released that, but it's a plane is not worth flying. But I've flown that. Turboprops are by far my favorite GAs in this simulator right now. The TBM is great, and the King Air, like I said, that Stalker introduced me to a couple days ago, that was a good time as well. What else? I flew the Diamond, obviously the 172. But yeah, a ton of different aircrafts, and that's the opportunities that you have with this new sim, man. There's a bunch of different aircrafts that are, I wouldn't say, terrifically modeled, but they're modeled enough in the fact that you can actually fly them and experience at its core level what they're about. So that's been pretty cool as well. Oh, the Icon A5, can't forget that. We've been doing some some nice water arrivals and landings with that aircraft. It's pretty fun to fly. But yeah, it's been a good time. I think someone just subscribed, but I'm not able to see who it was. I don't know what's going on with my overlays today, guys. Apologize, but whoever just subscribed, I appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in today. Thanks for your subscription, man. Gonna be nothing but vast ocean out here for now. I was hunting for this Frontier livery for so long. There were about 3 of them, and I didn't get a chance to download them, and one by one, unfortunately, they all just disappeared. I don't know what that was about. I was finally able to find one last night, so that's why we're doing this flight in Frontier. I don't know that Frontier goes to Punta Cana, at least not from Orlando. I think that's I think JetBlue does, but I wanted to take up this livery and try it out and see what it's about. Frontier does go to San Juan, though, from Orlando, so close enough. Gonna do some testing, be back in a bit. Cool, Johnny. Take care, man. Alright, give you an idea where we are, guys. We are in Miami Oceanic airspace right now. Obviously, no center controller on for that. They're usually on when you're doing an event or something, if there's a VATSIM event. But no event today, so we're on Unicom. And we're about northwest of Dominican Republic right now, so a little bit to go, but we'll be there before you know it. In a few, what I like to do is start understanding our arrivals, start understanding the weather at the airport, understanding the airport layouts, and start thinking about where we're going to park and all that stuff. So again, there's no standard arrival procedure, at least not from the direction that we are coming in from today. So it's essentially vectors to our first waypoint on the approach, which is Agnol. And at Agnol, we want to be at roughly 3,000 feet. So we'll need to figure out between where we are and Agnol when we should start our descent so that we can be at 3,000 feet at Agnol. A bunch of calculations. Back up the iPad going. Cool, Johnny. There's a bunch of not a bunch, but there's a few different calculations we can do in order to determine that, which takes into account our ground speed, altitude, and distance where we want to hit that mark. So again, with no VNAV profile in this aircraft, that's what we kind of have to do to start understanding that stuff. Bit of a ways to go. To be honest, you know, just from looking at this, we really probably don't have to start down till about Pokeg. that Pokeg waypoint. That should give us plenty of time to get down to our arrival. But yeah, that's what we're looking at now. Time-wise, it looks like about an hour and 12, maybe an hour and 15. Yeah, we're good to go, my friends. We're good to go. Those of you just tuning in, I appreciate you all jumping in here in the stream. We are on our way to Punta Cana down in the Dominican Republic. I know a couple streams ago someone had requested we check that out. We hadn't had a chance to check out the Caribbean in this sim, so we'll start with Dominican Republic. Now we definitely want to go check out the motherland. We'll check out Jamaica and Kingston and Montego Bay as well. See what that looks like. But yeah, not much going on out here at 37,000 feet across the ocean here. Johnny, I need to head back up to the Northeast in 2020 since they fixed the wind. It was some pretty nice tailwinds going up there yesterday. Yeah, man. Yep. I was waiting on that for us to do our first transcontinental flight. I've been looking to do LAX to Kennedy or vice versa for a while, but I'm like, what's the point without winds aloft? So now that they have corrected that, like you said, definitely gonna stretch some of these aircraft's legs a bit. That was a nice stream yesterday, Johnny. Sorry I couldn't catch it live. Just finishing up some work, but that I love that expressway visual into LaGuardia. That's fun. Well, here's got MFS 2020. What are your favorite aircrafts to fly? I'm an Airbus guy, so I love flying the Airbus, even though it has its challenges, but the community mod has made it better for sure. Definitely looking forward, though, however, to an add-on. Speaking of add-ons, the community has put together quite an extensive list of add-ons for a simulator that's only been out a month. It's those of you that have the sim, first of all, let me get you guys a link. You've got to check this out. I'll drop this in the chat here. Go ahead and check that out. That link has a bunch of different mods and liveries and anything associated with this new sim that the community has put together. I think 99.9% of the items there are freeware as well, so it's pretty cool. Had I had done that one in 2020, I would completely miss my turn looking at all looking at all the visuals. I know, man. I can't help myself in this sim too, man. Sometimes, especially when you're on final coming into these really nice cities, I'm always sneaking a peek out the cabin window or something when I'm supposed to be on final flying the aircraft. The visuals in the simulator is just outstanding. Really is. But yeah, freeware wise, man, the community has been busy. Lots of great stuff coming down here for this sim. Payware wise, I think our first payware airliner that we're gonna see, guys, you know, believe it or not, is going to be that CRJ from Aerosoft, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you're right, Johnny. We do miss replays. I know a lot of folks have been, you know, clamoring for that. Especially when you think about, at its core, Microsoft has sold this as a game, right? You know, versus a true simulator. So the fact that they didn't include replay functionality on day one is a little bit astonishing. I personally rarely use it. But it's good to see. It's good to take a look, you know, from learning purposes, obviously, to see, you know, what you did, you know, on your approach and landing, and, you know, what you should correct and whatnot, but also for entertainment purposes as well, especially when you're doing streams like this. It's nice to kind of replay the approach and landing. So hopefully soon, though, we'll see. Can't imagine it's something that'll be that hard to code and implement.
Off the fasten seatbelt sign. You can now get up and move about the cabin. However, we ask that you keep your seatbelt fastened when seated in case of unexpected turbulence.
Sorry, what was I saying? CRJ, yeah. CRJ from Aerosoft, I think, is going to be the first airline that we see in this sim, it sounds like. In terms of development and release timelines, they are the furthest along. I think behind that will probably be the PMDG NG3, although it sounds like they claim like they're having issues. I don't think we have a fully finished SDK from Microsoft on the Zibo yet, which I think is causing delays on their part. It's unfortunate though, because PMDG was working on this, you know, a year ago, more than a year ago, with Microsoft and the Zibo, so you would think they'd be much further along and the SDK would be ready, so we could have actually seen the NG3 released, you know, with the sim or just after it. But I think the latest timelines indicates that we won't see that thing till about February of next year. So from an airliner standpoint, CRJ I think is targeting the end of the year, so maybe a Christmas week release. I'm sure we'll see a lot of folks flying that regional aircraft there, so we'll see. We shall see. Enjoy your streams and videos. Tony, appreciate that, man. Thank you for tuning in. Glad you enjoy them, my friend. I had the overlay working for you guys like we did in P3D and Xplane. Unfortunately, though, it decided to act up here with MFS. So bear with me. Our next stream will have it working. I like to have it personally because it, you know, gives us some indication as to where the heck we are and how much time we have remaining. Unfortunately, in this default aircraft, that's not there, so the overlay definitely helps, but it is up here on the other monitor. For some reason, I just can't pull it to the overlay. It just stopped working, so we'll figure that out. We're about halfway there now, as you can see. About an hour and really hour and 15, hour and 10, hour and 15 left in the flight there to Punta Cana. Currently northwest of the island there. We're gonna come in via the glide slope approach runway 08 unless the weather has changed. We get a little closer, we'll pull the weather. And then when we land, let's take a look at our charts. We're coming 08, so we're landing east. We can probably make hotel. We'll have to jump on the brakes there. We'll do medium and jump on the brakes. But if not, we can vacate at Alpha as well. We'll take the scenic route, actually. Let's vacate at Alpha. There's some nice little scenery down there that we can taxi around and see. We'll take Alpha, cross runway 09, and then enter the ramp and park somewhere over here. Again, it's not a handcrafted or add-on airport. It's default scenery, but it's the best default scenery I've seen in a simulator ever. So we should have some nice approaches. Obviously, the terminals and whatnot are not fully accurate, but it's default, guys. So I'll take it. So yeah, that is the plan. Jump in here, see what's going on. Take a look at our fuel burn. Our fuel still looks good even though we have the APU on. Those that are not aware, unfortunately, Microsoft and Zibo, their patch 2 has caused the engine 1 on the A320 to roll back, as well as some screen glitches as well. So the workaround currently is to leave the APU on the entire flight. That's what we've got on. Generally, you would never do that unless something was broken here. Or unless you lost an engine. Part of the ECAM process is to get the APU fired up, but during normal operations, you wouldn't leave the APU on the entire flight. It also adds to the fuel burn as well, so that's a no-no, but it's our workaround for now. Supposedly it will get fixed soon. Other than that, the aircraft seems to be performing well. Lots of different functionalities have been added to the aircraft by the community there, fly-by-wire. We've got lots of ECAM information and messages now that essentially is not modeled with the default aircraft. So yeah, I think for me the next biggest thing, why do we switch from airspeed to Mach? So above 300, Tony, is when you go to Mach. I think it's just an easier way to measure speed. You're talking about you know, measuring that against the speed of sound and whatnot. It's just better to do it that way. Anything above flight level 300. Alright, that looks good. Our winds aloft looks good. That's another thing that they've recently fixed in the patch. Yeah, totally, no problem. There's a much more complicated answer for that when you take into account, obviously, you know, your airspeed at AGL, above ground level, and MSL, mean sea level, and all that stuff. But yeah, that's essentially it. You've also got to think about, Tony, the temperature and density. So essentially, the temperature and density of the air that we're flying through decreases as we climb in altitude, which so does the speed of sound. So in order to, you know, better measure your true velocity, you know, Mach numbers are used. I asked because I couldn't return to airspeed the other day. I think it's a bug. Really? Let me hop in here and see. You should be able to just hit the speed Mach button. Ah, I think you're right. Maybe it's hard coded to 30,000. Once you get below 30,000, it should return. But we'll look out for that on our descent. We'll see if it returns to knots. Good call out. We'll take a look. That made it real challenging to land. Yeah, I bet. You could also use, though, Tony, the speed tape. I mean, yeah, on the MCP it'll display in Mach units, but you could always take a look down here at your speed tape. This won't ever change. That'll give you your knots. Utilize that. But yeah, guys, I am definitely looking forward to some payware add-ons, especially as it relates to the airliners. It's really going to take this sim to another level, make it that much more enjoyable. Taking a look here at VATSIM. Still only us coming into Punta Cana here. So that's us here. We'll start to turn southeast sooner. Got an aircraft that we're trailing, American 1136. He is going to Princess Juliana. That's another airport we've got to definitely check out as well. But no factor. We are looking good, guys. Looking good. Appreciate those just tuning in. We're on our way into Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, out of Orlando International. Got roughly about an hour of flight time left. Weather looks good down there in Dominican Republic. Should be a nice approach into the airport. And we are flying the A320 Neo with the fly-by-wire community mod. So far, so good. So just doing some calculations here, guys. Our top of descent based on our airspeed and where we are, what we want to get down to that 3,000 mark by that initial approach fix. So we're roughly about 30 to 35 minutes away from our top of descent. So we are on VATSIM as well, guys. No one on at the moment. We're on Unicom. So I will just make sure we announce our intentions and all that good stuff as we make our way down into Dominican Republic. Got a few events in VATSIM this weekend. You check out the VAT USA calendar. So those that do fly in VATSIM. What is today? Today's the 19th. So looks like an Atlanta event. Definitely not a ZTL event. So it's Atlanta. Atlanta's the busy airport in US, blah blah blah. Everyone loves Atlanta, we get it, but there are other airports out there too, you know. So many more, like at least 4 others, but no, everyone loves ATL. Well, fine, not for this event. We encourage you to forget ATL airport and try out some others, like New Orleans, for example, or Austin, or heck, even San Antonio. Anywhere but Atlanta. Please, for the love of all that is VAT USA, do not fly in or out of Atlanta for this event. That is funny. That is funny. So Houston, what is that? I can't even see. Houston, Hobby, San Antonio, Austin, and New Orleans are the featured event for this event this evening. And then tomorrow Withstand the tide. What is that about? MYNN to Atlanta. Okay. So a Nassau to Atlanta crossfire. That's going to be hectic. That's going to be crazy. From 2100 to 100 Zulu. What is that? 11. So I'm on the west coast here. What is that? 9. It's about 1 p.m. my time locally here on the west coast. That's cool. Might participate in that tomorrow. We'll see. But yeah, those that are familiar with VATSIM, I encourage you to fly these events. They are quite fun. They really simulate, you know, flying with others on the network and whatnot. You generally have top-down services and controllers on for these events at these staffed airports. Those that are not on VATSIM, I encourage you to fly VATSIM. I mean, if you're flying flight simulators just to, you know, play it or whatnot, that's fine. But if you have any intentions of, you know, becoming a real-world pilot or, you know, being involved in real-world aviation, VATSIM is essentially just that. It simulates the air traffic network that we see out in the real world today. Real ATC controllers. Most of them are, or all of them actually, are volunteers. They do not get paid for it, but a few of them are actually controllers in real life. So it's good fun. Real world, again, controllers and procedures and whatnot. Definitely continues to help me stay sharp in real world radio calls and whatnot when I do go flying. So it's good practice. Seems like the wind issue in US is fixed. 279 or 48 flight level 380. Yes, Tony, it certainly is fixed. We're having success here on our end as well. You take a look. So winds aloft 025 at 24. According to SimBrief, that's what it is right now as well. So glad they fixed that. I think the problem is still the real world weather at the airports. It's still a little bit off. So hopefully they get that sorted soon as well. Off to our right there is North Kayakis International. And then we'll be approaching the Grand Turk soon as well. Have you tried Pilot 2 ATC? No, I have not, Tony. I've heard of it, but I haven't tried it. I think there's always this, I don't want to say argument. Argument is the wrong word, but understanding, I guess, or conversation, if you will, around, you know, VATSIM and there are other networks as well, don't get me wrong, like IVAO and Pilot Edge versus, you know, in-flight or in-sim or in-game ATC, and how folks would rather use those programs versus join these online networks. And I get it, because these programs, at least no matter where you fly or when you fly, you'll have ATC services on. But I think no matter how hard they try to make these programs realistic, they just aren't. They're never going to be able to account for every situation that, you know, you can find yourself in when you're doing flights like this. I think that's where realism and flying on these virtual networks come in. That's my opinion. I know some folks prefer, again, the pilot clients, or I'm sorry, the ATC clients that come with the sim, but they generally aren't up to par. right, we are 266 nautical miles out from the airport, which means in about 140 miles or so we'll start our top of descent. I hear you, it's just MFS ACT is terrible. I know, man, they are terrible. And again, it's a shame because I know there are folks that rely on the in-sim ATC. Again, I don't. I will always use VATSIM, but for folks that don't want to get on VATSIM and whatnot, it would be nice if the ATC actually worked properly in the sim. Dylan, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to the stream, my friend. Happy Saturday. Hope you're doing well. Guys, just tuning in. I'm sorry the overlay does not work. It broke. Unfortunately, we'll figure out what's going on with it. But just to keep you guys abreast of the situation, we are on our way into Punta Cana from Orlando International. About 72% of the way there, as you can see. 32 minutes or so. That's a little bit off. That's roughly when we'll start our top of descent, or a little bit before that. We've got about 45 minutes in total before we hit the ground. Cruising at 370. We are on VATSIM. Unicom currently, no air traffic controllers on. We're going to come in at runway 8 at Punta Cana. Another trick we can show you guys if you do use VATSIM and you want to use the client here to pull real world weather, you just type .wx space and the IKO for the airport. So it's Mike Delta Papa Charlie for us today, and you got your weather. So 040 at 7. Punta Cana still is in E-stops. 32 degrees Celsius, and the QNH is 1010. We'll have to remember to switch from altimeter settings to from inches to QNH for the Caribbean here. So runway 8 still works for us today. If I could find a comfortable headset, I would use VATSIM. There's plenty of headsets out there, Tony. You don't even have to go fancy or expensive. I use a Logitech headset. Gosh, I don't remember what this one is. Hold on. I can't remember the headset name right now. And then for my mic, I use a gosh, why am I forgetting all my equipment? HyperX Cloud for the mic. And then the Logitech headset is the G433. But there are much cheaper ones out there as well that are very comfortable. That's Grand Turk below us there. Copy that, I'll pay. Yeah, man, even a $50 headset will do just fine on VATSIM. Not even that high. You can find a $30 headset, USB headset, and it'll give you what you need for VATSIM. roughly 5 minutes we'll start our descent planning here, guys. I just showed you guys the weather. We're still in E-stop, so runway 8 is still good for us here. And we'll be good to go. Amazon special. Johnny, yes, man. Yes. You'll, Amazon, man, you'll find like... Oh, well, I'll make a look right now. I'm telling you, Dylan, you can literally find $10 headsets. See, I got one on Amazon. Cyber Acoustic Stereo Headset, $14.99. Mr. Wood, plane seems to have a rock back and forth to it. Yeah, Mr. Woods. Welcome to Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, man. Yeah, the A320 is, since release, it's been doing that. We were hoping that it would be fixed in this second patch that they released, but no dice. And it doesn't, we're flying the community mod from our friends over at Fly By Wire. But unfortunately, they said that that's not something they can fix. That has to be worked on by Microsoft and Zibo. So while they have modeled a lot of the other things that were in-op and given this aircraft a little bit more of an entertainment flavor to it, it still has some issues that need to be worked out. It's bad in the TBM, small oscillations up and down. Really, Tony? I've flown the TBM a bunch of times. No issues there. The airplane's usually solid for me. It's really the 320 that I only see this with. Flew it last night, terrible. Gotcha. We'll have to check it out. You sure it wasn't turbulence? Or was just, you know, autopilot oscillation, you say? Autopilot. Gotcha. Alright. Yeah, man, these aircrafts, they certainly do need a lot of work. Unfortunately, it is what it is. That's where we are. But if you take a look here, we do have a top of descent marker. I don't know what the aircraft uses to calculate that. But it darn sure isn't in the descent profile here, where you would generally see top of descent and your to-go, distance to go and all that stuff. It's always stuck on what you were expecting out of your departure airport. So but it's roughly correct. We should start down now a little bit here. So let's get that going. Let me get the sim volumes and all that good stuff back up. And let's get rocking and rolling. Hope that isn't too loud for you guys. Let me know if it is. The Hot Start TBM and Xplane the best. It is the best. You know what? Despite all the issues I've had with it and their developer, I won't even get into that today. The aircraft and the functionality and the way it's modeled is absolutely great. It's an outstanding aircraft. Sure is. All right, let's get going here, guys. We'll start a slow descent. Again, we're not on a standard arrival procedure, so essentially we just want to make sure we hit our initial approach fix for the glide slope arrival, the GS arrival, because it's not an ILS approach, within reason. So we'll go open descent. We will start down. Get the latest weather at Punta Cana with our performance page. So our QNH is 1010. Want to make sure we change that up top as well. HPA, good. Temperature 32 degrees Celsius. It's warm down there. Probably humid as heck too. 040 at 7 is the or the winds. Going to sterile flight deck. Yep. 18,000. Technically not till we get to 10,000 do we need to, but the purposes of the stream is for you guys to enjoy it and for me to interact with you guys. So we won't go sterile cockpit technically below 10,000 where we generally would in the real world. But definitely on final I'll have to concentrate and focus on that landing. Right, that looks good. One more time, let me give you guys the lay of the land here. We're coming in via the glide slope runway 08 approach. We want to hit Agnol by 3,000 feet. 086 is the final approach course. Our minimums for this arrival. 274, so we'll have to change that here in the McDo, which I will do in a second. Yeah, guys, that looks good. Terrain-wise, we've got a bunch of high trees and whatnot surrounding the airport. We'll have terrain on ND on, but no real threat as it relates to, you know, mountains or anything like that. Weather looks good. No, we got some vective segments in the area, but nothing alarming, at least not what the weather is reporting there right now. So here we are, just northwest of Pokeg, and we're starting down, guys. Once we vacate, we will vacate via Alpha. We'll roll out all the way to the end. There's no reason to jump on the brakes and heat them up. We'll roll out to Alpha and cross runway 9 and into the ramp. That sounds like a plan to you guys. That works for me as well. So let's get back to the cockpit. I did change that 274 for our decision height. Get that back to flight plan. And we're about 130 out. Let's increase that rate of descent there. And let's get the seatbelt signs on.
Please return to your seat as the seatbelt sign is now on.
Not that you asked me Dylan, but I have a digital storm. Oh, Dylan, I apologize, man. I didn't see you type that. I have, if you're asking me, I have a MSI motherboard. It's an i7-8700K, 3.7 on the base clock. I've got a GTX 1080 Ti, 11 gigabytes of RAM, and I've got a DDR4 for memory, about 32 gigabytes. That is also in the description as well. If you look at the description there in the video, it lists all of my specs. So apologies, I did miss that. Tony, yes, that's PAC-X we're using. Increased our rate of descent. Well, there again, there's the, whoops, there is the segment I was talking about, just over the island there. That's Dominican Republic, but not a huge factor for us on our landing. We should be fine. Increasing our rate of descent now. We've got a 21 knot tailwind. That's really helping us out here. Sorry to be chatty, long flight. No, man, that's exactly what we want. Chat it up. Chat it up. I love interacting with you guys. That's why I do these streams. Aviation is something that I'm very passionate about and I enjoy, and love to get perspectives from the community as well. So feel free to chat it up, man.
Customs at our destination, flight attendants will begin handing out forms momentarily. Please review and complete these forms and keep them with you for presentation upon arrival.
So this is a international flight, so as you heard, PAC-X, I'll be filling out those custom forms, it sounds like, for the arrival there. Pretty cool. PAC-X is it's really intuitive. It really adds some flavor to the sim. I would definitely recommend you guys checking it out. Really bummed about the overlay. Not only did the overlay show us, you know, distance to go and gives us a little bit more information on the flight, but it also gives us our landing rate. And I know you guys love to see that as well, so we'll try to get it running here for the next stream and see what happens. Like seeing the plane and the passengers move around the plane. Yeah, we'll likely get that once GSX finally releases. Many folks, including myself, thought that it would be out by now. You know, the day of the sim, actually a week before the sim released, FS Dream Team released shots of the passengers and the ground crew and the ground vehicles, and claimed that they were getting it ready shortly for MFS. It looked good. I don't know what the hang up or the delay is. I don't really follow their forums closely, but yeah, we should be able to see that once GSX releases. Got a good rate of descent now, through 230. We've got about 120 or so to the runway. Well, I thought it was out. I watched someone earlier who had it. Don't play with me like that, Tony. Don't tell me that we did this entire flight and we could have had GSX already. I'm sure I would have seen that announcement. You sure they were flying MFS 2020? Don't get us hyped for no reason. I'm looking at their website. I don't see... I don't see GSX here, my friend. Not for MFS 2020, at least. Then again, they released Chicago for MFS 2020, and that's not here either, so maybe they use a different website? Yeah, I don't know. We'll check it out when we land. Yeah, if you find a video or something, please let me know. That'll be... That's one of the add-ons, one of the many add-ons that I'm really looking forward to for this sim. So if it's out, that's definitely a pickup for me. Gotta go pick that up for sure. Alright, how are we looking? I think we're a bit too high. Ugh. 3,000. Open descent. My bad. I was talking about Pack X. Oh, sorry. I got you mixed up. I thought you were talking about GSX. Yeah, Pack X is out. We're using it. It's compatible for MFS. That's what we're using right now. I'm gonna bring this speed back. Ah, Tony, you're right. Oh, we were able to change it though. But you're right. It didn't from 30,000 feet. It didn't bring it back to Mach. We'll get some spoilers out to help us, and we will go set that QNH 1009. Close. We will get auto brake low on, terrain on ND. And we're looking good. There's our spoilers. Punta Cana traffic, Frontier flight, Airbus A320. We're out of 14,000 now, roughly 80 miles from the field. We're going to be shooting the glide slope approach runway 08 Punta Cana traffic. Right, that's our call on Unicom on VATSIM again. I don't see anyone else in the area, but we just want to make sure we do that just in case. I don't know why we're going direct AGNO, but that's not correct, so I'm gonna put this in heading mode. I love it, but don't get all the functionality. It's not complicated. That's why I stayed away from it as well in P3D and Xplane, because honestly we had other aircrafts that had that functionality built in, and I was like, this is just too much for me to have to bother with right now, so I never gave it any attention. But it's pretty straightforward and easy to use. Our airport's that way. Again, we're just doing a little bit of vectoring. Per the charts, we're supposed to go to Petrie first, and I know I had that in the McDo. I'm not sure why it erased it and put us direct to AGNO, but that's a default aircraft for you, my friends. Johnny, thank you, man. Does look good. That's 10,000 feet. Charm the cabin. Landing lights, come on. We're gonna have speed now to 210. Now we can turn direct agno. For instance, people look at the passengers and crew move around the aircraft as they're boarding and deplaning. Yeah, I don't think PAC-X has that though, it's just the sounds. That's not going to show the actual people. Alright, we'll go direct agno if it'll let me. Yeah, that's the other thing with this McDo. The approach fixes for the runway that you have programmed in, you're not able to go direct to. It's only your in route waypoints, which is something that somebody needs to look at. I don't know if it's Sobo and Microsoft or the community, if it's something they can check out. But what we can do is type it in manually, AGNAL. So let's go direct agno. And that should bring it up here. Excellent. Go into nav mode. Increase our speed a little bit. No, it does. Watched Joya this morning. I've never seen passengers for PAC-X, Tony. Joya must be, I think he's using also SLC, self-loading cargo. That's another add-on as well. I don't know. Link me the video, I'll check it out, but I've never seen actual people, actual passengers simulated with PAC-X. Look at this ND. This is what I'm talking about, guys. It's drawn really weird. The weather's clear enough down there, guys, though, that we can likely shoot the visual, so I'm not worried about it. Let me increase the speed here. I thought we were a lot further away than we actually are. We'll go 40. Punta Cana traffic, Frontier Flight Airbus A320. We're about 70 out from runway 08. 70 out from the field, planning runway 08. Punta Cana traffic. Alright, we've got a good rate down. QNH really isn't off. Looks good. Got live weather and winds working. That's always a good thing. as we come to an end here. I really appreciate you guys tuning in today. It has been a blast. Definitely like and subscribe if you want to see other and additional content. We'll continue to mix it up. We'll fly some more GAs, some more biz jets, some more airliners. Check out some additional parts of the world. I know I do owe someone a flight back in Europe. We did one flight in Europe earlier, about 2 weeks ago. We did Bristol to Innsbruck. I definitely want to check out Gibraltar, so we'll check out Gibraltar here in one of the upcoming streams for sure. Well, yeah, it's been a blast. It's been a blast. Listen, this sim isn't perfect, but I still stand by, you know, what I said earlier. We've never had something this outstanding day one, out of the box, default. No, this is no additional dollars spent. This is a mix of default stuff out of the box and freeware stuff, so it's pretty cool. Not sure how to do that, but it's from this morning. Porto to Lisbon, around 7:30 minutes in video. All right, Tony. When I land, I'll go check his video out and see what he's using. About 50 from Agnol, so technically we didn't have to descend so rapidly, but listen, with this default aircraft, you always want to be ahead of the aircraft and not behind it, so we're fine. Need to see some Texas. I know, Johnny, I know, man. After you told me what Fort Worth looked like, I was like, hard pass, man. I just stayed away from Texas altogether. But I do want to get flying back in Texas. I want to check out San Antonio. I think we'll hold off on Fort Worth for now till we get an add-on. I can't believe they screwed up Fort Worth that bad, a major airport in the U.S. like that. But I want to check out Austin. I want to check out San Antonio, and then I know there's a bunch of small fields that you fly. Real world. By the way, everyone, Stalker Actual Gaming in the chat. If you're not subscribed to this channel, definitely want to check it out. Real world pilot, tons of aviation knowledge. Check out his streams as well. Very informative and very entertaining. But yeah, I know you fly, you know, real world, some of those smaller airports within Texas and around the area. So let's do some group flights, man. We'll check out some of those airports. You can show me around. You want to watch this terrain below us? It's a little bit low. But I think we are okay. Let me know. Yeah, maybe tomorrow, Johnny. I'm headed out for the rest of the day after this, but it's definitely available tomorrow. Let's do it. Beautiful scenery. It is beautiful. Although I'm sweating here. I don't know what the MSA is, and we look really, really low to this terrain and this bush down here. We look at these charts. The charts say nothing about this, though.
begun our final descent into your destination. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to collect any trash one final time. Please ensure tray tables are stowed and seats are in the full upright position. Please also store any carry-on items either in the seat back pocket or under the seat in front of you. Please complete all Wi-Fi related tasks and stow any larger
This is
electronics.
gorgeous. So yeah, PACX, generally it would say the destination, but there's certain areas of the world, like here, it looks like that they just substituted for your destination. They obviously can't do a voiceover for every single city in the world, but anywhere in the US so far that I've flown, they actually say, you know, into Orlando and Miami, Los Angeles, so it's pretty cool, very intuitive, I like it. We're doing some VFR GA flying right now, man. How low are we? Alright, we're not terrible. This is gorgeous. Screenshot.
2,500.
Wow. Guys, this is default. This is what I'm talking about. Default. No add-ons. This is out of the box. This simulator.
2,500.
Now you tell me if we've seen anything like this before. So our airport is just over those hills. We definitely took the GA approach scenic route here, but we're fine. Isn't it, Tony? It really is amazing. 26 from Agnel. We'll keep this speed up. Selfie. Right, Johnny? Selfie. We'll keep this speed up for a little bit longer. And we'll start to dial her back a bit. Again, coming into these parts of the world, you would certainly have ATC on now. Vector you and watch out for all this terrain below us here. But this is the approach sim brief gave us, and per our charts, this is correct, so we'll continue flying it. Punta Cana traffic, Frontier Flight Airbus A320. We are at 3,035 miles out from the field now, planning runway 08, Punta Cana traffic.
2,500.
Alright, 17 from Agnel. See if we can start seeing our airport over there somewhere, but not yet. So we put in Agnel. Let's see if the aircraft knows to go to its next waypoint directly after that, which is Davna. We'll keep an eye out for this. With these default aircraft, guys, you've always got to make sure you are understanding what's going on here with your approach and your arrival. You can't rely, I mean, with any aircraft ever, you should always be like that, but specifically with these Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 default aircrafts, to always be prepared to take over the aircraft from the autopilot and hand fly it. But we'll see what it does here. There's the ocean on the other side of us. All right, 220 on the speed. And in fact, it's a beautiful day. We're likely going to visual approach this in, but I do want to see what the aircraft does. I do want to see how it behaves. Activate approach phase. It's activated already. Good stuff. Let's bring this down to our flaps 1 speed. There's our green dot. We'll get flaps 1 out. See what I mean? It's why is it climbing? It's trying to maintain 200, that's why. Let's bring the speed back. Behave, aircraft, behave. Let's go 190 on the speed. Try that again. Alright, we're about 15 miles out now. IMC just a little bit. Oh, we should break out of this shortly though. Still no field in sight. I think one thing they definitely have to work on is the autogen draw distance. There used to be a feature for that in, not used to, there is a setting for that in Xplane and P3D. I don't know what setting in MFS 2020 controls that, but we're running essentially high-end and ultra settings across the board, and some of these sceneries don't get drawn in until late, in my opinion. But maybe that's a mix of how they're able to draw so much of this this world in the sim here and still maintain a reasonable amount of performance. So who knows? Looking good. Okay, let's see where she's going. Is she gonna turn back right to Davna? No, you see what I mean, guys? This is why you've got to watch this aircraft. So we'll go heading mode, turn her back the way we want it. This is what I mean, guys. We'll go direct Ravik at this point. got to watch this aircraft. The McDo and the ND logic is just still off, still very off. Still see no airport yet, and we're coming into some clouds here, so still got her on autopilot for now.
2,500.
You guys see a runway? I don't. Alright, flaps 2. I have no idea where this airport is. Ah, I see it. Alright, my aircraft. Gear down. Flaps 3. Put our lights on. That's just poor autogen drawing, man. It didn't come up on us till last minute. Flaps full. Cabin check.
Cabin crew seats for landing, please.
Alright. Landing checklist. Gear down 3 greens. Flaps full. Auto brake low. Spoilers are armed. Cabin crew is advised. All lights is required. My aircraft and 08 we're clear to land. Punta Cana traffic. Frontier flight Airbus A320. 5 mile final runway 08. Kind of traffic. I have no idea why it drew the scenery in so late. And again, it is a default airport. It's not something that was even handcrafted or touched at all by Microsoft, so it's all technology and AI that they've used to get this airport here. But these are the trees I'm talking about that we have to watch out for. So even now the scenery is just very blurry on final here. We're high, but plenty of runway.
100, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard, 5.
Alright, we're down. Let's get back on that center line. That's spoilers, reverse green, decel. Manual braking. Auto brake disarmed. And we'll just let her roll out. That was ridiculous. I don't know if that was bandwidth related or what, but scenery didn't draw until really late, and even on short final it was just very blurry. Oh, we made it. We're gonna vacate here on Alpha like I mentioned in our briefing. Get the flaps up.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached our destination. The local time is 11:54 a.m. and it's currently about 29 degrees Celsius. You can now use your mobile devices. Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign is turned off. Remember to use caution when opening the overhead bins, as items may have shifted during the flight. If this is your final destination, we thank you for flying with us. If you're making a connection, we encourage you to check your itinerary to ensure a smooth continuation
This is gorgeous though, guys. The scenery itself for default, like I said, it looks really nice. Alright, let's start cleaning up. Continue taxi. Punta Cana traffic, vacated runway 08, crossing 09, taxi to parking, Punta Cana traffic. Well done. Oh, thank you, Tony. Thank you. I wish we could have, you know, flew that approach a little better, but had some scenery issues there. We don't need the APU. Well, we need it, but we don't need to turn it on because it's been on the entire flight. So unfortunately, that is that workaround in order not to have those engines roll back on you until Zibo is able to fix that. We'll cross runway 09. Make sure no traffic on final. Yep. And now that we're clearly active, the strobe light can go to auto. Turn off's off. Landing lights. That can go to taxi. Two hours and 20 minutes of flight time. It's the GA ramp over there. Alright, my friends, this was fun. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I sure did. We'll go over here and taxi to the gates. Again, for default, this is not bad. I'm looking at my charts here, and these taxiways are accurate. GA ramp to our left is accurate. The surrounding terrain and the trees, that's accurate. So you're not finding Punta Cana default in another sim that looks like this, that's for sure. So that's pretty cool. Got to figure out the draw distance though. Again, I don't know if it's just because it's one of these out of the way airports or what, but that wasn't cool that it drew in so late, but we made it nonetheless. Come and taxi around, park next to this LATAM A320. Get the nose lights off. A little bit further. That's good. Parking brake set. APU, we'll get the bleed on. And engine 1 can come off. Engine 2 off. Transponder to standby. Fuel pump's coming off. Seatbelt signs off. Beacon off. See if we get the jetway connected. butter. That was alright. It was alright. See if baggage services will work. I don't know where the baggage is. I realize that some of these airports you've got to call for these services twice. Again, I am so looking forward to GSX, guys. It's gonna make things a little bit more realistic and easier here for us. Alright, that's it for us today, my friends. Appreciate you all tuning in. I had a blast. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Hope you guys enjoyed the flight itself. Again, just one of those airports that, again, is not handcrafted, is not an add-on, that you are able to fly to and it still look relatively decent in this sim. I mean, just look at the texturing and the terrain. You've got the grass and all this stuff here. If it was windy out, you would actually see it moving. I mean, a lot of this stuff you had to have, not had to, because those sims still exist, but in P3D and Xplane and all that stuff, you need additional sceneries to make that stuff look good. So overall, I'm happy with it. Hope you guys enjoyed the flight. We'll be back. I don't know if we'll stream tomorrow. We'll see. Definitely, Johnny, we'll do a group flight. Maybe we'll stream that, maybe we won't. One of us will, though. We'll see. And start exploring some other areas of the world and other areas of the country. Definitely probably in a GA aircraft. Like I said, I've been enjoying the TBM. I've been enjoying the what else? King Air. I flew that once. I want to take that up again. We'll probably do the King Air tomorrow. But yeah, it's been a good time. Again, appreciate you all tuning in. I will check you guys later. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
Savannah.